Incredibly proud of our guys. It was a classic rivalry game. Louisville, hats off to them. I mean, those guys are playing so hard right now, doing it shorthanded, and Pat is doing an unbelievable job coaching that group, and they got a ton of fight and a ton of heart and leadership and seniority, and they had guys making big plays and making shots, which they haven't done as much lately, and so they should be super proud. And our guys just kept fighting and got the win. Couldn't be happier for our guys.
Mark, would you have had to tie LaMont down to keep him out of the game today?
Yeah, so, hey, listen, you know what? Well, first of all, I was joking with the guys after. On the way off to Florida, LaMont's agent called me and was like, okay, he's only playing every 10 days. He's taking the rest of the time off. Unbelievable credit to him. My goodness, what an incredible, LaMont Butler just gave us one of the all-time greatest performances in the history of this super special game. Like, it's all time. The numbers back it up. The way he came into it backs it up. And you think about, when you go out and you're trying to recruit, and our guys, our staff is so good, and those guys identify a winner, then this is what you get from him, right? I'm so proud of him, and I'm major credit. I've been, looking at my performance team side-eyed for the last 10 days. I'm telling you, this Brandon Wells is probably the best in the entire business. He's incredible, and for Randy to have limited access, but to be creative enough to keep LaMont in playing condition without him being able to set foot on his ankle for a week is really remarkable. We weren't proceeding with caution. We weren't just holding him out of gameplay because we wanted him to get a bunch of practice under belt. He really hasn't done anything. Everything has been auxiliary, and so we're just blessed at Kentucky to have two of the best guys in the whole business of doing it. And it's a real credit to Lamont, his heart. It's a real credit to Brandon and Randy, man. What an unbelievable team they were. So hats off to those guys.
Mark, Michael Bennett with Just the Cats, right here.
Yep.
Back in October, your wife talked about an annoying mole in the backyard. How's it feel to beat that mole for the first time?
Well, one mole down, one to go, guys. And that one in the backyard, a little more pesky. It is a problem. That is really frustrating, but we'll work on it. But listen, it's my guys know it, man. It's an honor to be a part of this this great game, and it's really special to be able to kind of put their name in the book and imprint it, and it had everything that you expect out of this game. It was pretty special.
Mark, back here, the moments back here in cameras, the moments with LaMont out of the game, obviously those could be worrisome. They were tough, but they weren't bad. It seemed like Andrew Carr got that big tip in right before the under 8 timeout. So they got timely buckets. But how do you feel about those moments? And you are going to have to deal with those moments when he's not in the game without Kerr.
Well, the first time I checked him out, we turned it over in the backcourt for 11. That wasn't great, but after that, listen. I mean, I haven't even looked at TP's minutes. TP played 6 minutes and 42 seconds, and they were probably like 17-second stints. Basically, he was great. I mean, he kind of kept it under control. He was really solid defensively, kind of had some makeup ability. The staff has worked really hard on kind of figuring out rotation about who we can have in the game when Lamont's out right now. And I thought guys were great. And so, it's important. I mean, I'm not sure if our design is to have Lamont playing 32 every night, but he did it tonight, and the other 8 worked.
Mark, sometimes this rivalry has kind of been defined by some of the tension in it, skirmishes, that kind of stuff. But tonight, outside of the one little hubbub in front of the bench, it seemed like it was more defined by respect and, just playing at a high level. What do you attribute that to? Is it kind of the new chapter of the rivalry?
Listen, I think that you have two veteran groups that are pretty focused on the way they compete the best, the way they give themselves the best chance to win, is to be laser focused on the job at hand and be super disciplined and about not letting the emotion be a distracting factor, if that makes sense. And I was really proud of our guys. I mean, listen, you know, it wouldn't have been an appropriate game if you know, it was a tension-filled mosh pit down in front of their bench. That was probably the most fun part of the game, right? But I think you have two organizations right now that have insane amount of passion about winning and feel all of the joy and intensity and stress of this rivalry, but also are pretty good about being focused about what actually makes you play the best to give yourself the best chance to win. I really think both programs are probably in that space somewhere.
Mark, another one for LaMont. Just how much does his mere presence kind of open things up for everybody else? 3 other guys with 4 assists. I think Otega had 3 assists.
Yeah, it's really important, especially the way Louisville was playing us. I mean, they stayed really pushed out, and so him getting downhill to the rim was really important because when he got down there, there was a lot of space to operate, and he has such a terrific burst, man. He's got a really special burst. It matters. His ability to get downhill was really important.
Mark, what is it about? It seems like Otega has kind of a knack for closing games for you guys. I think he made 3 massive plays down the stretch. What is it about him?
Yeah. He, you know what? One of the great things about O is he's just in the moment. I think he's got a pretty great capacity of just being dialed into the moment and not spending a lot of time worried about the consequences or what might happen or what just did happen. He's pretty good at being present. He's actually really good at it. I got a story I want to tell, but I'm not sure if I should. Yeah, oh, you guys. So we had a really fun moment. You know, our guys are, you know, we're in this space, talk about, it just hit me because of talking about being present. So our guys have made a renewed commitment to be present in class every day. And Otega happens to have an early morning class where he's getting better and better at being present. So a couple days ago, it was all hands on deck making sure he was there. And 2 minutes after class, we got a video from him of him sitting in an empty classroom because class was canceled and we didn't know about it. So he is the epitome of present. In fact, I'm gonna try and get him to put out the video. I'll try and get him to post it. It's actually so delightful because he doesn't even really say anything. He's just like, ah. And so he's present. He's really present. He's present in class, he's present on the court, he's present in the closing minutes.
Coach, looks like you were talking about the rotation. You guys ended up playing Brandon Garrison 23 minutes opposed to Amari at 16 tonight. Ended up working out for you. Garrison played some big minutes there at the end. What made you make that adjustment tonight?
Yeah, I thought BG was giving us great energy. It's fun with those two guys, man. They love each other, and they both want to play 40 minutes. They're both starving to play, and they both cheer for each other, and it's really a beautiful thing. Amari has been such an incredible big brother to BG. In fact, both of them, you know, so Amari, every time he throws a great pass, is running down the court doing eyes, and now BG's doing it. BG did it tonight. It's actually really fun, and so, you know, BG kind of had a good vibe out there, and both those guys, you know, were trying to manage their energy so they could kind of keep up, and I thought BG was terrific tonight. I thought he was really good.
Mark, as you were pulling together all these disparate parts for the first time, when was it and what was it that made you think this is actually going to work?
Well, I think it's been when I've seen the guys off the court actually more than on the court. I think we had a really good sense of off the court, of on the court, the guy's skill set. And we're still learning how to do it. Like tonight, it was just like, oh, there are so many moments where like our ceiling is so much higher than where we are right now in terms of the way we execute and understanding why we're doing it. We have so much growth we can do. But I think it was probably, there were a couple moments that I've talked about a lot where I saw during the summer guys going out of their way to really go be together. Andrew Carr is like the dad of the team, and he's been incredible. And LaMont Butler is like, takes care of each of these guys one by one. Like, I can't tell how many stories I've heard about someone's having a tough time and all of a sudden Lamont shows up and he's gone way out of his way to actually just reroute that person's day and the way he feels. And we went on a service retreat to Eastern Kentucky, and the guys, there's a couple things I saw that I loved. One, it wasn't the guys' idea to go do some reconstruction projects on some of these flooded out areas, but they went and it was a 2.5 day affair, but it's still 8 or 10 hours of work a day, and like there wasn't a single moment where anybody was hiding. Like the staff, we all just kind of finished that and we were shaking our heads and we're like, man, we didn't have anybody hiding. We never had anybody complaining. It was like the guys were like, it probably wasn't their favorite thing in the world to do, but they were like, hey, we're here, we're going to work, and we're going to work for 10 hours, and we're going to work for 10 hours tomorrow. And you see things like that. And then we had at the end of that, we had a devotional where the guys kind of each made one very specific commitment to the team out loud, just with only the team there. And you heard how thoughtful the guys were about what they were going to give to the team this year. And you see all these little moments like, oh, it was off the court stuff where I'm like, okay, we got a chance, man. We have some staying power and some resilience, and we have unbelievable young guys. Unbelievable. It's very cool. Good group.
Mark here. Having played in this rivalry twice as a player, and obviously watching it as a fan in the years since, what did it feel like to be the coach on the Kentucky sideline?
It was fun. So can I be honest? You guys know I have a terrible memory, but so I actually was with Leanne yesterday, and it was last night as we're sitting there trying to figure, and so I looked up the 2 games that I actually played in, and the game my junior we lost by 2 at Louisville, and when I saw it, I was like, wait, what? And then I remember, so I promise you, I remember now. It was like locked away. The bus ride home from Louisville, I was in a full-on, like teary-eyed sweat last night. I had blocked it out of my memory. Like I had, and all of a sudden it all come rushing back. Whew. I mean, it's like I'm starting to like sweat right now. You get locked in the bus with Coach Pete for an hour and a half after a 2-point loss against Louisville. Oh, I won't wish that on any of you. I bet only half you guys will come out alive. I kid you not. And then our senior year, we kind of had a runaway win, but our Nate Schwacke and Jake Most. And our and Billy Toombs, our like media and alumni team did something really cool that I thought was so special. I don't know if you've seen it, but they found 15 players, former players, and they had them each write a letter to our 15 current players about what this game means to them. And that probably says it better than I ever could. If you haven't seen it, take a look at it. It's really special to our guys, and I think it's what Kentucky basketball is, man. It's generation after generation being connected and understanding what it means. But those letters, I got a copy of each of them on my desk, and they're really, really special to me, and I think they're special to our guys. And sometime, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, our guys are going to be writing letters to the next generation of players and keeping this connection going, and that's really special. It's super cool. So that's the good and the bad of my memories about Louisville.
If there's nothing else, we'll wrap up.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.